Dear respected Thay, dear noble community, dear friends, did everyone sleep okay? Yeah? Anyone found a new snorer in their room? Come on, you can raise your hand. Oh wow, you're lucky then. How many of you went to sleep earlier than you would normally? Ah, wow, I imagine, yeah. Usually people sleep after 12. But if you want to wake up at 5 for 6 and be a little bit not like a vegetable, thank you for joining us. And it's not even 24 hours yet, but I can see and hear the sounds this morning, and I feel there's some relief already just being in this environment, away from your home, away from your apartment, even while you're working. I heard two share about their working in the toilet so joyfully. I go, really? I was like, okay. So it's really not the task, but it's a kind of like a break from our usual. So this is what a retreat is for us to break out from our usual and to try to, discover or find again what we had lost or been covered up. So that's the intention of a retreat. And so the monks and nuns here, we're just facilitating this space for you to discover for yourself and to find again things that are really deep in your heart, meaningful and joyful about being alive. So this is our hope, the monks and nuns, and this is our career, this is our job. It's just to make a space for you to be who you are and then find, what it is that you love about life. So this is our intention. This morning we'll do a chanting, and that has that same intention. It's a kind of an energy that we can cultivate. It's an energy of love, of compassion. So when the monks and nuns chant, it's not a prayer or a worship, but it is a way for us to touch love and compassion. And the source of love and compassion, unfortunately, it has a lot to do with suffering. And this is the truth about just being in the world. There's suffering within us, within our relationship, within the world, on the planet, in the human kingdom, the animal kingdom, and the whole ecosystem. All forms, right? But it's from that we can actually cultivate compassion and love. That's you can't really feel if you haven't really touched suffering yourself. So there's nothing wrong with suffering, but it's knowing how to suffer and what to do and how to take care of it. So when we chant, this is what we are touching. You can sit beautifully and then really accept our situation. We might be holding some pain, some tightness, some anger, some sadness, some fear, but it's okay. Now with our breathing, with our friends, our collective energy, the mountain, we don't need to run away from it or cover it up, but just to accept like a mother holding a crying baby. So when you hear the chanting, this is what we are coming back in touch with. Our little knot, a little unease, whatever we're each holding, and being okay with that as well. With each breath, we allow that energy to be within us, and we don't try to pretend that we're okay we have to put it up. So when we hear the chant, it's an opportunity to come back to our breath, come back to our body. It's so wonderful that we are all here together to support each other. And this is it's very precious if you just take a moment to think of other places on the world right now who don't have this space, this safety, and this community, and this practice. So we are not afraid to come back to our things that are in our lives. And when we can touch that suffering deeply in us, something will happen. Relief, insight, healing. Because our body, our mind has that natural ability. Only if we just allow it. Just like a wound. A wound, if you just keep it clean, it will heal itself. And this is what we have to come back to have trust in. Our culture has so many ways to run away from and hide from suffering. So everyone I invite to sit beautifully. Your back upright and sit like a lotus on the lake. And you may like to close your eyes if you want, and just come back to your breathing. And there's different elements of, first we send compassion to ourselves. We've been wounded, we've been judged, we've judged ourselves, we don't accept ourselves. So we send that compassion, that loving kindness towards ourselves. And then we turn outward towards our friends in the room who are also doing the same. And we send them our love, our compassion. We are all in it together. There isn't a family, a relationship without something. But we have each other, so we're not afraid to, hold it. So we send that to everyone in the room, including the monks and the nuns. And then the third one, we expand it outwards, beyond this space, beyond this valley, mountain, to the little places in the world. Our human family, our animal family, the plant kingdom, the planet. So we expand our compassion, our love. Those in places of violence and war, of discrimination and misunderstanding. So we can, with each chant, we can turn that energy inward, expanding outward towards the circle, and then beyond the circle. So that's the energetic mind field, okay? You can bring your mind and focus on that. Internalize, expand, and then open further. So please follow your breathing. You can close your eyes if you like. And we'll begin our chant. Breathing in, I'm in touch with my body. Breathing out, I relax my body, just as it is. Let's have a breathe. We have Sister Nhắc Nghiêm she's our bell master. Sister Oneness. When I first met her, I think in France, she didn't speak that much English. Well, I never heard her speak English in front of me. And then when I came over here, I saw her one time speak English here. Like fluently. I was like, where you been hiding that? It's like sometimes you think you know someone and you're just like, they hide jewels and diamonds from you, you know? So please ask her a lot of questions in English. That's my payback. She's just a wonderful, such an active sister in our community. She's like from the kitchen to the compost to the garden to the organizing team to the. I don't think she's one. Her name means one. She's multitask, but one at a time, not like all at a time. She shares the name of our teacher. So every time I look at her, I see the future, and that is our teacher's continuation. We have to see in each other, and I practice now to see it in everybody. Last night I saw two people stop underneath the sign that says, "A cloud never dies." As everyone is rushing up the stair, they stopped and they looked at the moon. And in that moment I was like, my teacher's alive. How many of you saw the moon last night? You spent some time, yeah? These two not only stopped, they didn't talk. That's what's special. That's when you know it's your teacher. You just look and you don't have to talk. And I knew that they know how to enjoy the moon. So let's continue that to manifest what's so beautiful about being alive, and to help each other do that. When we're here, we each remind ourselves. We see someone walk beautifully, we see someone not talking and enjoying just looking into the mountain. It's a reminder for us that it's okay not to talk and to tell stories. So please, let's listen to 3 sounds of the bell, and let's touch that, our non-talkative mind. Just follow our breath. We don't need to tell our stories. We don't need to be heard. We know who we are. No one needs to hear us. Just come back to our breath and enjoy each breath. Enjoy sitting. Asked us to share for the retreat, and they shared with me the theme of the retreat. What is it? Beginning now. Beginning or begin now? Beginning now. It was definitely I was like, it made me stop a little bit. I was like, does it mean begin now, like as in like get ready and start and go? But it's beginning now. So is it an instruction? And so I used that, when I first found out, I used that as a nice contemplation. Like, it can have so much meaning. But when an image came up, actually, many years ago, before I was a monk, and I was beginning to question a lot about society and my striving to succeed. I was like almost getting out of college, but I studied as an architect and to be an architect, and I wanted to change LA and have social projects and do good in the world and be famous about it. But I remember, and then I had a friend who's very good at investing, and already in college he took some of my money, and his father is an investor, and he and I had a fund for retirement. Can you believe that? Before I graduated, he convinced me to really start planning for retirement. I think now young people are trying to retire early, I hear, right? This is after the .com era. Now people are trying to retire early. Anyway, the beginning now, it reminded me, I saw a poster once, and it was for a bank, and it's about investment. And it had a man and a woman, and they were like leaning on the fence, and there was a horse. It was a wooden fence, and they had really nice boots, and she was like putting her foot on the fence, and I think they were doing something with her boots. But it said something like, why wait until you retire? Enjoy life now, or something like that. It was really a good message, but they were, on the picture, they were old. It was great. It was a perfect message, but it was basically said, bring your money to this bank because it will make a lot of money and you can retire right away. I think that was the intention of that investment poster. Isn't that funny? I read it, and I'll never forget it because it actually, the image of the two, the couple, I still have it in my mind. They look so beautiful, I think it was Photoshop probably, but they look so happy, and I always come back to that image. Yeah. So this is, you can see why beginning now, that image came up. Because at that period in my life, I was having, trying to think what to do with my career, my life, and so on. And beginning to come in touch with our teacher, the teaching, the practice of mindfulness, and very specifically actually learning to be present, to be in the present moment. I remember my whole schooling, before coming in touch with the practice, I just never thought about like you actually have to be active in holding yourself to be present. You just do what you do. You think, you get in trouble, you argue, you have opinions, and you have opinions, and you just keep going, right? You never think about this is what it feels like to be in the present moment. Until I met my teacher. So he helped me distinguish between being present and recognizing when I am not present. And that for me was a gift that I'll never forget. And up to this day, I train in that. Because throughout the day, we have many things that pull us away from the present moment. We have thoughts about ourselves from the past that we carry. And so we kind of regurgitate over and over again. Is it regurgitate? No, ruminate. Regurgitate is you spit out, right? Okay, sorry. Ruminate. You ruminate like a cow, like, oh. I love the way cows chew, right? They really enjoy. You ever watch cow chew? In France, I used to just ride my bike and stop by a farm and watch cow chew the grass. I mean, if we can all eat like that, it's so relaxing. You know, it's like their jaw is so relaxed. So we do that with our stories about ourselves. What happened to us in our family when we were a child. And that's what it means. You get caught by the past. You get caught by one single story that you keep telling yourself, and that burns your presence in the here and now. We need to have a new poster, something that can give an answer. I think beginning now would be great. Come to Deer Park. And the future also, our dreams, right? We all have dreams. We want to achieve things. Our causes, what is important. Our stories again. One is a story of things that happen to us, and one is stories of what we want. And this can also disturb and like be a hamper to us being present. So why is there so much emphasis in the present moment? You know, our teacher teaches that in every Dharma talk, to the point where sometimes he gets to it, you don't listen, but you know, someone asks you, you probably know what he said. This teacher never sway from that axis mundi, the present moment. And that is the heart of the Buddhist teaching and the Buddhist practice, to help us be present and know that you're alive. So it is the evolution through the animal world that we've evolved millions of years to this point where we're like, wow, I don't have to go run for a banana. I don't need a banana right now. And you have a choice. You know, we're not just, see the liberation? But now, instead of banana, it is what? The new phone, bigger bank account, a promotion, that job, that recognition. So we have to identify what are our bananas that will keep us from actually enjoying this moment. Our lungs are in good condition. Our eyes. So when you come here, you're learning again, like I learned, what is the present moment. I never thought about it. Can you believe it? 29 years up to when I met Thay. I never thought about or even contemplated what is the present moment. I never even knew what that was. 29 years. So this is the opportunity. You're here for, 4 or 5 days? Please take this time to find out what it is, what it feels like to be just in the present, not telling that story and not running after illusions and fantasies about what I will do with my life. Why is that? It's not that you don't think or plan the future and, graduate eventually. But don't let that be a burden to you now. If you're working, if you're cleaning the toilet this morning, thank you for cleaning the toilet this morning. Just clean your toilet. If you're drinking your tea, so you train like that. If you're walking, just enjoy the walk. Enjoy every step if you can, or like some percentage of it. If you're sitting, so this is all we're doing here, is to resist the past. So you're constantly thinking, and also the future. So this is what Deer Park offers here, and we monastics, that's how we're like facilitating that for you. And the tool to use is the breath, as you heard last night. Take a moment, because the breath is a beautiful tool, beautiful experience that combines and like a string on a kite that brings your mind back. Okay? Like you breathe in and you silently say, I am breathing in. Breathing out, I know I'm breathing out. And it starts with that. If you can do it once with the in-breath, once with the out-breath, that means you can do it again. And the third time, you're like, oh man. And then you go back and check out what percentage are you there? What percentage are you with that? And this is how I enter and discover my practice. Simply following the breath. In, I follow my breath all the way through, from my nostril. Don't let any thought interrupt that awareness. Out, exiting my lungs, exiting my nostril. So you follow. This is a tradition. Doing this, people have done this since the time in India, and probably before that, the time that the Buddha was alive as well, in the Indian culture. And I always thought about that. It's like, what's so special about that? But then I also, in my meditation, I think, and I imagine myself as a chimpanzee, an ape or something. Can you imagine an ape just sitting on the branch? Yeah, go ahead, eat the banana. Or an ape just sitting there, go for it. And enjoying the breathing. Wow. If I go to the zoo, I would probably just sit there and watch the gorillas and see if any of them have that awareness. I'm sure they do. I sometimes look at ravens that land near us. So I like to think what we're learning here about being present is a continual evolution of consciousness from, a kind of like simplistic kind of awareness to maybe more, aware of surrounding, aware of interaction, and then language, and then thought, and so on, to the point where finally one human being said, oh, we don't need to do this to each other. And so this is what is going on in terms of our evolution. And you see how important it is as a counterbalance to our culture now. Our culture is running, quick, jumping over, grabbing. And that's why there's a huge increase in mindfulness meditation, right? In my 20 years after being a monk, I got to experience, like at the beginning, if you mention Buddhism or mindfulness, people would like freak out. Or even like just vegan as well. It kind of coincided, I don't know why, the evolution of that. Back then, if you said you're a vegan, they were like, oh my God. It's like taboo, right? But now, recently I went with someone and we were way late for lunch, and we stopped by, I looked up Impossible Burger, and it came up Fat Burger. You know the place Fat Burger? I went there and we looked at the menu, and it's, Impossible Burger is in the column of most popular. And I was like, wow. Sorry, I'm just sharing how it's changed so much. Since it's amazing. That's why I'm so happy that you're here. Like so many young people now, what we're evolving to be more inclusive, to be more sensitive to other ways of being human, right? I mean, I think 3 or 4 years ago, I first heard of this word fluid. You know, fluid? You heard of the word fluid? I loved when I was, I asked him, he's like, I don't understand that word. And then he explained it to me, and I was just like, man, that's very Buddhist. Don't, identify, don't put people in boxes. Anyway, I was like, wow, this is amazing. When I was your age, it was like, Reagan era, by the way. You go shopping, the malls, you wear pink or you wear light blue, You guys now, like this generation, I just feel so, anyway, I just feel happy that we're so much more, see the evolution of consciousness? It's part of the same growth, and it hurts because other ways of being need to be let go, and it's very challenging to let go of old ways. Don't think that that's a society thing. Look at ourselves. There are certain things that we tell ourselves who we are that we can't let go. Especially if you've gone to a therapist and they tell you you're type A, you're what's that word for, like, anyways, I'm very bad at technical term. But yeah, there's so many things that people do to put us in boxes, and then we believe it, and then it becomes our limitation. And so this is what we're here to look at, to question. How we drink a cup of tea, how we put on our shoes. You have to recognize what our culture has put into us. So that's why slowing down. How many of you guys did walking meditation this morning? Yeah. I was behind my window. I was the room back there, and I was watching you. I skipped walking meditation. I was like, but I heard you come like the Roman army, just the footsteps. I'm sorry, I don't mean Roman army, but it's so quiet, but I just hear your voices. I mean your footsteps, and I watch everyone's footsteps, and it's so beautiful, and that you're walking at that pace. And I saw a few kind of like really struggling, and you can tell. It's like, gosh, It's like quick stuff. It's very sporadic because we're so used to going at a certain speed. And so why do we walk like that? It's for you to experience an energy that has been transmitted to you. I remember the first time I learned walking meditation, I almost fell. Because, it's kind of like, and I remember, I was like, God, I know how to walk. But when you slow it down, it has everything to do with balance and things. And I wasn't very natural I remember up in a camp that we had with Thay. And so it's like riding a bike. At first you kind of like trip, fall and all that. But eventually, your body relax. And so that pace there is not like good or bad. It's probably not very functional at work. Or if you're outside, you'll probably be looked at pretty strangely. But it's here. Please take your time to experience that on your own or together. To experience what it feels like energetically to be tight, to be pushed, to be running. This is what our society has transmitted to us, our ancestors, our culture. And this, again, is a resistance. Thay recently saw in a documentary teacher, and he described our community as a community of resistance. Isn't that cool? I love it. That's more like my spirit. I was recently at Glasgow for the climate, the climate COP conference, and they introduced me as a spiritual leader. And I was like, oh. It's like, dude, I don't have a beard. I'm not wise. I'm a rebel. And I humbly bowed to him and was like, thank you for introducing me. But, as a spiritual leader, I just don't feel that that's really what's in my heart. And I said, I feel like I'm a resistor. And I shared how our family escaped China, the communists, and then again Vietnam. We had to escape as refugee to come to America and bask in American dream and capitalism. And then their son escaped capitalism. Oh, you should have seen. We had members who were from India. They were like, yeah. But that feels more like me, So we're in the lineage. Our tradition is a tradition of resistance. How many of you can relate to that? Yeah? Oh, thank you. I have a community. And it takes force. It takes effort. It takes deliberation. Because society, companies, corporation, marketing culture, they know our mind very well. And so if you don't know your mind, they will know it for you. This is where we're at. Do you remember all the rave in the 80s about the information revolution? They call it the digital revolution or something like that. Information age. We're not the peak yet. When AI hits, that's when we'll hit peak. We're heading there. And so this is a war, not with tanks and guns and bullets, but it's a war on our attention for your mind. So this is a reframing. You don't just want a nice job, do you? Come on. You want to just work for money? Sorry, I'm very biased about that. I have a lot of biases, so please take this with a little disclaimer, okay? It's nothing wrong with making money, and being rich and millionaire and all that. But the question is like, do you want to work at a job and then retire and then, give your money to the bank. This is what our teacher, how he has helped me wake up to what it is like to be just a human being. Yes, that has a job, that has to pay the check, but don't forget that it's such a miracle. I know we have suffered. My family escaped Vietnam with nothing, on a boat. You can say, you can compare, suffering, like, who suffer more, right now in Ukraine? You don't want to compare suffering. Suffering is suffering. You can be suffering right now with a very good job, and the angst in you could be as heavy. So we don't want to compare suffering. But my teacher helped me find ways to take care of it. And then, when you can take care of it, the knot in our heart is loosened, and if you're lucky, even completely untied. You don't resent anyone. You don't judge yourself. You don't have an ill thought about anyone, anybody, anywhere. It's so nice. That's like fresh water, clean, pure water. Not the kind that went through osmosis, but from the mountain. So this is, I share with you, this is like what's in my heart and how my teacher helped me, and why the practice is so important for us to always come back to our breath and always check in. It's like, am I putting up a front right now? Am I okay right now with myself? Always check in. I haven't looked at my notes yet. And I have to finish soon. I love it. I never follow the script. I just share, I try my best to share from my heart, my experience. And the notes sometimes come along, but it helps. So we have an energy, this awareness, this attention. This is what the battle is for. Where to look on the screen, where it is, not just for your eyes, but even the notification for your ears. Okay? On my phone, all notifications are off. No buzzing, no ringing, no, what is it? What is that when it shakes? Vibration, no vibration. Completely no notification. That is so hard, because you're kind of like, It's even more annoying than a song. You see the battle? And then on the screen is where you look. And then when you go out on the freeway, the billboards, the cars. So our senses, our eyes, our ears, our five senses, we have to, when you slow down, you begin to see how they work. You see the meditation? So it's not just sitting in the cushion and, look like you're meditating, but your mind is everywhere. But meditation is actually just anything that happens to you. And you kind of like, you just recognize. That is meditation. That's all it is. So meditation, and then, all this formalistic stuff that the Buddhists kind of monopolize, and we call it Buddhism, the religion. In fact, it's at the time of the Buddha, there was no Buddhism. It was just a dude left his palace. I'm sorry, I don't mean to say dude. It's just looking at you guys, it's very bad. But I'm sure in front of you, you're forgiving. But, he just didn't want to do what his dad did, It's like, I don't want to be like you. You don't look very happy. You rule a lot of people, but I know what happens behind the door. And so he left. And it was really hard for him to leave his wife and his child, who he loved very much. If those of you who read O Path, White Cloud, that moment is so beautiful. Like two young people trying to raise a family. And I always contemplate that. What would be so important to this young Indian guy to leave his child? What is more important than that? You see that? My goosebumps rise now. Because when I got to that passage, and when I contemplate, what is most important as a human being, a living two-legged animal on this planet? Yeah, this is the love that is a little bigger than just your nuclear family. Because he was suffering. And he had to play a role that he didn't want to play anymore. And his suffering probably made him react very harshly towards his son once in a while. I can imagine. And that's very painful as a parent. That you cannot be at your best all the time. So that tore his heart. And he's like, man, I gotta go find a way to appease my heart. And not to live like this. And this is what the consciousness, remember? Evolution. The human mind kind of like, gotta find a way out of this. And that's what I love about life, energy. Like you look at plants now, you are here at the best time of their part, the wet season. Walk around and look at every bush, every tree, everything is like coming out with new leaves and new flowers, right? Even get on your knees, look at the small little one. It's amazing, the life force. Even in this climate, nobody watered it. They had to find a way, right? And it's the same thing with us, not just as human beings, but as a life force. It wants not to be trapped, doesn't want to be defined. It wants to thrive and be whole. You see the evolution? It's so beautiful. But all of society education is to tell you, you gotta be a doctor, you gotta be a lawyer, you gotta be successful, whatever. There should be a class, a degree, just being human. You won't get a paycheck, nobody will hire you. I dream of one day, like going to university and offering that course. Can you imagine me at the career day in high school? I have a table. It's like, you won't get hired, you won't get promoted, there's no salary. And the best part is you can't get fired. I'll put it right across from the military. ROTC, oh, that would be great. That's like my dream one day. Just to sit there across from the ROTC and then the Navy and say, hey, don't go over there, come here over first. Or actually go over there first and then come here.
And I have a career for you. Not that to become monks and nuns, but become liberated. To know what it means to be alive. To be young and not wait until you're 80, 75. When is the retirement now? 70? 65. 65? Oh, that's not bad. I thought it was 70. 65, wow. Jeez. 65. That means you have maybe 20 if you're lucky, 30 years left. So it's 2/3 of your life. Sorry, math. 5 days a week, 8 hours a day. Oh, I'm biased again, okay? This is nothing to, this is gonna mess up your career. And it's not very good for the economy. I love saying that, because everything's about the economy, stupid. You know, that's what they say, right? The politician. Oh shoot, erase that. I said. I just feel so close to you, and sometimes I get too young. And I don't stay with my notes. I was supposed to teach you something, but I'm just trying to be funny. Yeah, Thay loved the young people. His whole life, his whole life is to share with the young people that don't wait. You know, now, live your life. Yes, you've suffered. Yes, you've been wrong. But still, you can help. There's others who need you. Now you have the practice. You have a little bit more, right? And his whole life, can you imagine that? Almost 80 years of his life is dedicated to help young people. Don't retire. Now, beginning now. So don't ever, after this retreat, you cannot say that no one told you. When you lie down or you're in the hospital, remember, don't say no one told you. Meaning, you know, don't wait until it's too late. So your loved one, someone in your family, someone, a friend, someone who doesn't know the practice, they are suffering as well. Those who are not so privileged like us, to have the time, to have the money, to be here, to come in touch with this. We can be that light for what is happening to the places around the world, in the city, on the freeway, and so on, in our own family. So we can be that one on the boat, not shaking. Everyone is running around, trying to grab things, trying to make do. Now, you have the eye. You know what is important. And you know who you are. Yes, I have suffering, but that's not it. I am more than that. And this is what we're going to offer as a counterbalance to the military, to the violence, to the discrimination, to the misinformation and all of that. It is our truth, our life. So not an idea, but our presence. That's beautiful. You go home, I imagine, I do think about the future, right from yesterday. I know at the end of this retreat, all of you, your face, everything, very different. Your shoulder, and I know some of you will go home and you will say something so lovely to your loved one, your partner. Someone you will write an email, one of you will text, But again, don't wait until the end of the retreat. You can do that later, not now, but to offer this. You know, we're all here and we're very lucky. And so please don't waste this opportunity. You're here not to do your thing, whatever you do. You're here to not do it. Don't be yourself. Be different. Learn something much deeper. These ideas of who you are, let go. You are more than that. And you don't need more. You are already enough. That is the model for our generation. Most the messages we're getting out there is to tell us that we're not enough. We need resistance. We need a community. We need to gather and to have that revolution. It doesn't need to be on the news, but it is happening a little bit everywhere. There's wake-up retreats in all continents. Young people, and not just that, young people are also rising up with representing and giving voice to those who are not heard, to those who are marginalized, right? I love what's happening right now. And it's the young people who stood up, right? The Me Too movement. It was, you know, you listen, and it's like, and some of them are getting elected. So this is, there is something besides the other news that you're hearing that's negative. There are also wonderful things happening. And this is what we need to contribute to, our presence and our freedom from the label. Who you are, what you need to do, when you should retire, and so on. You know? And it comes down to training to the breathing, okay? To the breath breathing. Because that will be your anchor. I recently shared that sometime an emotion will come, an anger, a sadness, a very strong one. And our breathing, if you train in the breathing awareness, will be your balance. So when your emotion comes, it's like surfing. It will come, don't suppress it, ride it, okay? Do you see the difference? Try to push back a wave, you know, you're gonna get clubbered, right? So with the breathing, you can do belly breathing. Put your hand in your belly, in, rising, out, falling. See, this is where the image of surfing came from. I was following my tummy, and I felt like I was riding a wave. Three of my brothers here are surfers, actually. Can you imagine 3 monks surfing? In fact, after this retreat, I would probably predict that they would probably go surfing. But I love the images of monks surfing because it's related to this. You have storms, you have waves of emotion, and you learn to come. What is this? You know what this is? This is your body guiding your mind. Most of the time, our mind, we think, is the dominant. And it does cause a lot of tension, tightness, and we hold a lot of, we call it unresolved stuff in our body, and we get sick. But sometimes the mind can be guided by the body. That means you sit upright, all of a sudden your mind is different. You know, if I give you a Dharma talk like this, well, you know, you can practice all you like, if you like, but you don't have to practice if you don't want. Hey, I have a friend. He came to say hi to me. He's been misnamed as a stink bug. If you see him in the grounds, please don't call him stink bug. It's not very nice. I have a new name. It's called humble bug. Because every time he sees you on the road, he will like stick up his butt and bow down to you. So if you see him on the road, please bow back. Okay? We have a new name. It's not a stink bug, which is totally, I've never been stinked by it or them before. It's a new name, okay? It's a humble bug. Because every time they see a human being cross its road, it will bow to you. So it's not sticking its butt to shoot stinky stuff at you. That's never happened to me. So I think it just came to say hello. Sorry, huh? I put you on the spot. He's a little afraid now. He's backing up. That means it's like, uh-oh, it's time to go. You give you some flour, man. Humble bug. And so, living here, I have also learned to, rebox everything. Like poison ivy, poison oak, bow to the poison oak. I used to walk by poison oaks, it's like, why do you, it's just a plant. It's so beautiful in autumn. It's red and everything. But when I first came here, it's like, but I had to reprogram myself. It's like, it's beautiful. Why do we have to say it's like poison oak? It's just, humans are so sensitive. There are animals that are fine without it, So we, again, question everything. Don't let others know your mind and define it for you. And this is the practice of meditation. And this requires stilling your mind. So when we sit, we are training to be an open mind, a beginner's mind. Beginner's mind means, I don't know. Is that really a rose? So beginner's mind is the kind of like diamond of a meditator. So, who are you? You see your friend, you're like, it's my brother, he's like that. Oh, that's my father, Like, hi, Dad, are you my dad? Don't do it so you get crazy and get yelled at, but kind of keep that in your mind. With the bug, with the poison oak, with grasses, rattlesnakes. I won't teach you about that. You have to reprogram rattlesnakes. Well, I'll teach you because you might come across. You see a rattlesnake? Thank you. You're so kind. You warn us to not go near because you don't want to bite us. You see? You have to reprogram the fear. Stop. And I've done this many, many times, and it's so beautiful to not have negative thoughts towards rattlesnake. They don't want to bite you, and they let you know. It's like very kind. Thank you. But because our ape nature is so strong, right? Your hair stands up when you hear a rattlesnake. And so most of the time, people get bitten by rattlesnakes because they fear and they run, and it's always in the wrong direction. And so the mindfulness practice, if you can manage your fear, it will help you reframe things. See, fear related to wrong perception. And it takes training, many years of training, to not react to a rattlesnake. You see the evolution of consciousness from ape mind to a calm, kind of like a liberated mind. There's still some ape there. Your hair and your back still rise, especially if it's a big rattlesnake. And then you breathe a little bit. And then you kind of like change the channel. You kind of, thank you. Oh my God, you must be really an elder. Look at your, your horn on your eyes. And look at your tongue, it's dark. Then you begin to wonder, and you're like, wow. And then you bow to the rattlesnake. No fear, total respect. I will walk around you. You see, so all of this is trainable. And so this is why we're here. And it includes doing the trash, cleaning the toilet. What else tasks do we have? Doing the meditation hall. You don't have to get it perfect. You don't have to judge others for doing it a little differently from you. All these, you're here to re-look at it. There is a way to do the cushion, but just be aware if they, don't get so, I don't know what's the word, but I used to be very obsessive about it. Like, more. So, if you are lazy, more discipline. If you're careless, be more careful. If you're too careful, be a little relaxed. If you don't want to, do anything and be lazy, then get to work, right? And if you're out there trying to do a lot of work, just chill out. Go drink some coffee, You see that? Reprogramming. If you like a lot of people, go walk on your own and be okay with it. And sit at the table with a lot of people and be okay. The reprogram. Have a new chapter. Put a blank page. Forget the words. Be an artist. Make sounds. Have colors. Don't get always about words. Don't be in the world of words only. It's a trap. There's never an end to how you describe and include others. It's a trap. I am blue. I love being blue like the sky. I am punk music with a little soft, relaxing elevator music. Why not? I love beyond the words, okay? So this is here to discover. Don't describe yourself with just your story. Again, this is what Thay has offered me. So don't limit yourself. So please take your time here. Moments on your own as well. Solitude is very important as well. I know we love to meet people, and there's a lot of beautiful people here. I wrote my Hingim and Phap Lim, they say, wake up, starts today. And so many colors and so many different ways of being already. It's so lovely. It's so nice to be at this age, because it's still a white page. You're still kind of discovering what it is to be in the world, besides a career and whatever, a job and so that. But also what is meaningful for you. And don't let others define it for you, okay? Maybe pretend your parents can help, but connect with them and let them understand for you too what is meaningful for you. So I had to do that with my parents. When I became a monk, as you can imagine, it's kind of like, wow. But slowly they saw I was happier. And then, and on and on. And I was able to reconcile and just help them be happier. And then it was no longer about my choice being a monk. It's just about like, it's nice to be with each other. We don't have to argue. First, learn to reprogram yourself. No, not reprogram. Learn to let go of all the labels about yourself that you give to yourself as well. So please enjoy this here and be with nature as well. So in solitude, take a walk, take a hike. It's beautiful. At night, the moon, the stars, lay on the road, lay on the road, and be grass, be a rock. So don't just be human. Learn to be beyond that. This is our chance, our beginning, right? It's so I'll end here and say, now someone at least try to tell you that it's so wonderful to be who you are, and you might think it's not enough, but it is enough. Every plant, every tree, whether it's giving flower, shade, some of them are missing limbs, it's beautiful. So when you look at the forest, there isn't one perfect tree. They're always missing stuff. Their leaves are a little weird and some, but it's good enough. So thank you for coming, and I wish you a happy practice in your few days here. Yeah.